USS aircraft carriers Okinawa.
So how did you two meet? How did this come about, Angie?
Oh, well, I went to Cambodia about 17 years ago. We were the first film back after the war. It was a fun action movie. And I had a break, and I bought a book on a street corner, and it was her book. And it was a time in my life when I was just realizing how little I knew about the world. I was in my early 20s, and I didn't realize how much my education was lacking and how much I needed to learn. And this book was an education for me about genocide and about refugees and about what children go through in war. And I then met Luong. I wanted to find her, and when I talked to her on the phone, she was going back to Cambodia, and so we went with a demining group and with the UN and did some work together.
We met and we just clicked right away. I mean, she is a really, really, really cool, authentic. I mean, she hates it when I gush about her in public, but she is a really cool person, and so we got along, and then we got on our motorcycles, and then left our group and went and got stuck in a torrential rainstorm, sleeping in hammocks, and I taught her how to look for leeches between her toes and how to catch frogs, and so our friendship was born then, and 16 years later we're still good friends.
We auditioned many people for all these roles across Cambodia, and we were determined this would be shot in Cambodia. We were determined it was going to be in Khmer and not in English, no matter what, and we would do it the right way. But I was so excited to start to see the auditions because this is a very talented country, very talented people. And during the war, artists were picked out to be killed because of their influence. And so having a film where the artists would come back and they made the sets and they acted the scenes and they did everything was so inspiring to see them want to come forward, not only to tell their history, but to be artists. There's a great, I hope when you see the film, you're not sad about the history, but you're really proud of what this country can put forward creatively.
You know, you used like about 500 locals worked on this film. 3,500 background actors were in this film, all from Cambodia. It has been entered by Cambodia into the Academy Awards as their entry this year.
If you know Cambodia, one of the reasons I wanted to make this film is as much as I bought the book and it was on the street corner in English, it wasn't something that was being taught in schools. And it's something that is not often talked about. And there's very few people that discuss this in countries, and there's even a lot of people that debate this happened. So to bring this back and to recreate it in a country that really doesn't discuss this history, for me, my son's Cambodian. And I wanted him to know what his birth parents went through. And I wanted him to know who he is and be proud of who he is. And I wanted this country to be able to have this and this friend that I love and this closure in some way, to be able to say that's what it was like and now. So yes, I think it's amazing that they let me in, but I think it's amazing that they allowed the film to be shot in country and to allow this to be recreated on the streets. We had a therapist on set every day. We had every single Cambodian who made this film was personally affected by the war, and they came back to do this for their loved ones.
Beyond her son, Angie also has a long extended relationship and friendship with Cambodia, with her center that has so many programs to help Cambodia, and she just moves in Cambodia in a certain way, with the respect and with pride and with love, and we set out to make a film not only about war, even though it was one of the bloodiest genocide in the 20th century, where in the span of 4 years, 1.7 to 2 million Cambodians died from starvations, execution, and diseases. But we wanted to tell a story about love, about family, about courage and sacrifice and dignity and joy and grace, and the grace of humanity that still exists in the midst of all these horrors and tragedies.